Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this wonderful world. Today I'm with the wonderful Sally, and we're going to discuss a really important topic close to Sally's heart. Isn't that right, Sally?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's very important for everybody to implement what we're talking about today. So welcome. Hi, all that.
Yeah, after a few technical glitches. So today we're going to talk about ditching the doormat syndrome. And I don't know whether that resonates with you. Are you a doormat? Do you like it?
Oh my God. Well, there's so many people don't even realize that they're doormats. That's the thing. So today we're talking about putting in healthy boundaries in place in your life. So
Correct.
Boundaries to protect yourself, really protect your own energy, protect your time and your energy, really, at the end of the day, and also protect your integrity and respect for yourself. I think there's so many layers that come into this.
That's right. And boundaries are really important. They're important for preserving your own sense of identity and your own mission, but they're also important when you're bringing up your children. So
Yep.
they're super important because they demarcate where you are, where you start, where you finish, and where everybody else starts and finishes.
Yeah, and particularly strong in relationships as well, putting some boundaries in there. Having that balance and respect for each other and the 50-50.
Yeah,
Totally. Because, talking about the doormat syndrome, it's basically you're giving and giving to everybody else. And it's very links in a lot with what we spoke about last week, not having the ability to say no. And just that's where the boundaries come in of like, no, I can't do that. No, I don't have the time, or no, I'm choosing not to do that. And it's not easy, especially when, you're just busy, so busy doing so many things. And at the end of the day, you're exhausted and tired and fall into bed. And if you review the day, how you could have done it a bit differently to see how, so you wouldn't be so trashed at the end of the day. If you put some more boundaries in during the day, it really, really helps. And I think that all comes down to structuring your day, as well as having the strength of character to say, no, I can't do that, or just choosing not to do something and putting those boundaries in. You're just not available. You're not able to take that kid from here to there or whatever it is. And, selecting and what's important in your life. Well, I'm actually, this is linking in with my model. So what we should do sometime, Harry, is link up paper 53 or 54 so we can draw our models, because basically we're doing Venn diagrams every week. So, I might as well go through my model because I quite like it. So you've got 3 circles at the top. You've got put some structure into your time and day. So that's actually going to help increase your energy and also decrease your resentment for doing things that you don't want to be doing. In the other circle, I've put the next one is select. Select what's important for you and select what's good for your soul as opposed to what crushes your soul. So make those choices in what you prefer to be doing. And then the third thing is strengthen up. So strengthen up and have the balls to say no. Like, no, I'm not available. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Oh, look, you've been working on those air cups, Harry. Oh, I love it. Throw some knackers. So like, say no. You still doing your press ups every day?
Every day. Well, it was interesting. I went to I discovered biohacking the other week.
Yes.
And I got up and did my push-ups. And then the guy said, now do it really slowly. So now I'm not doing 20 or 25. I'm doing 10 to 15 really slowly.
Engaging every muscle and having awareness of the muscle that you're working and what you're asking it to do. So, yeah, that really helps.
And I realized the bit that's really quivering, the bit that lets me down is actually my arms.
Right.
It's not keeping straight.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, because I start quivering at about 8.
Can you record it one day and
get the shapes,
Oh dear. So getting back to my model, I shouldn't have brought that up. So we've got structure, select, strengthen, and then in your little petals in the in-between, all of the 3 things that it's building up is your self-belief, your self-worth, and your self-esteem. Like, belief that it's okay for you to have boundaries, belief that it's okay for you to say no, belief in yourself, self-worth. Are you worthy of, having time to yourself or choosing where you want to spend your energy and time. And then your self-esteem, it boosts it up as you get stronger, you know, getting those guns happening and growing some balls. You can learn to say no and feel okay about it. So, and at the end of the day, what you've got is more greater self-care. You've got preserving more time for yourself and increasing your energy and reducing the stress all around you. So, you know, you're empowering yourself. I think it's not easy, but it's a very important thing that we should all implement into our lives and just start anywhere, just with small steps.
So I think it's more of an issue for women than men, just because of our society and the structure. Bringing up children. And I see a lot of women who have lost themselves because they haven't set boundaries. So they're living vicariously through their partner or their children or their footy star or their pop star or whoever it is, whoever the heroes are. And I think the first step is actually to discover your core values and your needs, and underpinning a lot of what you've just said in terms of the petals are the need to love yourself. And then once you've done that, once you've worked out what's important to you and you love yourself and you've worked out what your needs are, then you set some boundaries. If you do those two things, you're really starting to respect yourself.
I've got respect down too. I think that's a really important thing. Respecting yourself, and others will respect you more for it as well.
And there's mutual respect there. And if you respect yourself, others will respect you. And then you can declare your boundaries clearly and consistently and directly. So it's, you know, the boundaries have to be really clear and unequivocal, and you have to communicate them really clearly and directly. Otherwise, people won't get the message. But if you do that, then you can protect what's beautiful and important and precious in yourself instead of losing it. And then if you do all those things, you affect positive change and you'll prosper.
Love that. Prosper.
So there's actually a book, you know, I love Googling.
I love it. This is like a book club as well every week.
There's a book by a woman called Lynn Namka called the doormat syndrome. It is actually a syndrome. And it's about trying to please yourself. It's about losing yourself. It's about not being able to say no. Walk all over me. It's about codependency, all those things. Just losing yourself. And, you know, you have to stop being a pushover. It doesn't actually, I mean, if you're doing all the stuff for your kids and your partner, it doesn't help them in the long run.
It was interesting. I was reading somewhere that at the age of 40, Oprah Winfrey learnt to say no, and it was a defining moment in her career because she was putting in boundaries on her personal level as well as her professional level, and it shifted everything. And it all came down to that word no. Sorry, I'm not available or whatever. And putting those boundaries, because everybody, you know, I mean, she's a very busy woman and everyone's wanting a piece of her personally and professionally. And so you can understand she'd have to have some healthy boundaries. She's a huge worker, like she doesn't stop. And you've got to put in those limits and structure, I suppose. But I think that respect thing you talk about is really, it's really strong because, you know, you've got to respect yourself. And by getting that strength, you are empowering yourself and giving yourself, you know, building up your own self-worth and self-belief and self-esteem that you're worthy of having this time, and it's okay to say no. Because, you know, for example, kids are going back to school and I work before work, I race back, all that sort of stuff. And I said to the kids, right, you know, I'm sick of being in the traffic and under stress because we're racing late and I'm doing several school drop-offs and we've got railway lines and, you know, I'm getting pressure from all four at different, come on, Mum, I'm going to be late. And I'm thinking, well, hang on, guys, I'm ready to walk out the door at 7:30 and you're still carrying on at 10 to 8. You're putting me under pressure. So I said, right, that's it. The boundary is 7:30 in the car. If you're not ready, you find your own way. You know, you can go and catch the bus or whatever, because I said, I'm not putting myself under this stress and pressure all the time. It's unhealthy, it's dangerous. And, you know, everyone's racing for the sake of 20 minutes. I said, I'm working beforehand, so set your alarm and get up. You know, you're old enough now to have some further responsibility. And that's another thing about the boundaries, is throwing it back onto others rather than you doing everything, which is part of that doormat syndrome. Allocating, or what's it called when you give it out to everybody else. So yeah, and at work this morning, like, you know, we still weren't right on time, but the stress and pressure was off, because I'd said that they were actually shitting themselves, that I would actually get in the car and drive, and they might actually have to do some walking.
I was going to ask you, have you driven off and left one of them behind?
I've done it several times. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Good.
And you know what? One time, one of my sons, he Ubered. He called an Uber. I was like, how bad's that? That is so naughty. It's supposed to be like a punishment and a learning. Oh, well, it doesn't matter, Mum. I'll just use Dad's account and get an Uber. Oh, shocking.
So couldn't they ride bike?
Oh, yeah. Look, there's a few issues just because of sports bags and the traffic and whatever. It's not like the good old days, Harry. There's so many other factors to take into account. And tram lines, oh my gosh. But yeah, but I think it's really important to just start doing all this with the boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have good boundaries put up in your life with your work and personal life and everything?
Yeah. I mean, I set the boundaries. I have really intense relationships with my clients, and we run long programs. So I don't mind if they text me and stuff. But I've set that boundary, and I'm very happy with it, because I'd rather, if they're running late or something, or they can't make an appointment the next day, that they let me know. And I say that's fine, and then we all know where we are, and there's no stress. But getting back to taking the kids to school, you know, we all have battles there. One day, Emma took one of the kids to school in their pajamas.
Good on you. Good on you.
Never happened again. Never happened again. I can tell you.
I remember.
Amazing, that.
Yeah. It was the same thing. Every Sunday night we had to literally get the polish out onto our shoes and get them bright and sparkly and all that sort of stuff. You could not go to school until it was done properly with boot polish for Monday morning. And of course I hadn't done it this Sunday night, and Monday morning came and Dad said, well, you're not going to school until you've got it done. And I walked to school, so it's like 1.5 K or whatever. So I had a bit of a spat the dummy and whatever, and Dad said, no, bugger it. So I eventually got to school, probably late morning, under sufferance doing it. But it's just like, you know, if you don't put them in, and once again, had my shoes done every Sunday after that. So
So you walk to school, so you must have legs.
Yes, but that was in the day where, you know, your parents didn't give a toss, and if you weren't home by 6, they might sort of start to think, where are you? But that's about it.
I actually don't think that life's got any more dangerous for children.
Yeah,
I think she's safer. I think there's just more awareness about it.
Well, there's just not the open spaces that there used to be too, Harry. It's just, there's not the, I mean, there is where you live, but where I am now, in a city, you know, you don't get the great big creeks and you can go for kilometres on your BMX. Yeah. It's like, it's very different. Yeah.
But I mean, it's a pity they can't ride, because that's such good exercise.
I know. So I was looking at the steps here. So if you put in structure with your healthy boundaries, and, you know, you're selecting the things that satisfy your soul rather than crush it, and you do more of those, put some boundaries in for your personal life and professional life, then the second step is then plan your day ahead with 3 actions that help you keep your eye on the prize, keep you structured with just 3 things that you'd like to focus on. And so that helps with your boundaries as well. Oh, I'm sorry, I've got to get this done, or I'm working on this project, or whatever. It just gives you some focus. And it's on things that you're choosing or selecting that you'd like to be doing. And then at the end of the day, step 3 is enjoy the outcome of protecting your kingdom. You know, we all live in this kingdom, and we're in the driver's seat, so we can choose who we allow into our kingdom and who isn't there. So, you know, enjoy and celebrate that your kingdom has been protected again for another day.
So regurgitating what you've just said, you're actually making a space in the morning and just setting an intention for the day. And that's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Intentions can change the world.
Absolutely. Now, if you link that in with gratitude, so what I do when I wake up, 3 things I'm grateful for, that already shifts the mindset into a positive space. And then planning ahead, 3 things I'm planning to do for the day. And then I action them throughout the day. And at the end of the day, celebrate because we've done it. And it may be as simple as changing the sheets, or it might be, doing a recording with you today, Harry, that I planned that, actioned it, and at the end of the day, high five myself like it's done.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that really helps boost yourself up as well. But, when you mix it in with that gratitude, it really helps you shift with a positive focus for everything.
Yeah, gratitude is incredibly powerful. And the other one, which I put on the same level as that, is forgiveness.
Forgiveness, yes. Love that.
Yourself and others. And part of getting to self-love is forgiving yourself for your mistakes, which we're going to make every day. We're going to make them tomorrow and the next day.
Really good point. It's letting stuff go. Don't let it just fester in and drag you down. It's what it is. The past is the past. We can only live in the now. And well, the third one, if we might as well do a trilogy. We've got the gratitude and forgiveness and belief. I think belief is also another underpinning foundational sort of emotion that when you have that belief in yourself, belief in others, belief that things can happen, it will happen. Yeah. It's
that's right.
The core pieces to life, I'm going to call that.
Good job. Okay.
So yes, healthy boundaries.
What was the other thing? What was the other thing you were going to do today? The other 2 things apart from talk to me.
Oh yes, I'm actually talking to Teresa and getting some end due dates in, and doing some work with Maggie. So there you go. I do have a list of 20, but the 3, because the day gets away with you, you get caught up, whatever, but 3 cool things to get through are awesome. So just backing down to that doormat syndrome, we mentioned last week, like 78% of women anyway are busy doing everything for everybody else. And I'm sure it's a lot higher than that. And, let's not alienate men. Men put in a lot as well. And then maybe it's more women with the nurturing side of the day-to-day running around with the kids. But it's the same thing for men. I had a client and very busy, like doing work, and had forgotten about stopping and thinking about himself because he's so concerned about keeping the family right and getting the finances sorted and getting the career going. He's cut himself off from himself. And I really think a lot of men get overlooked only because they, I don't know, this is a whole nother subject and another topic, but something I'm quite passionate about is there's so much more work to do with men, because women in many ways are slightly on this transformational path and in tune with it and very open to it. It's even just like having massage, facials, whatever, a bit of self-care, which, I don't think the percentages are equal with men. And men are very busy doing men things, but, tapping back into that self-love is a huge thing. So, putting in boundaries, also work professional boundaries there, so for men to focus more on some better quality time for themselves, inward focus.
I mean, a current example of that would be the lawyers that worked for the banks on commission. And apparently they've been working these ridiculous hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Doing. Well, men do, don't they?
Well, that's right. So that's putting in boundaries there of like, what about some family time, or what about some you time? It's like
0.
Yeah, 0. And that's what I mean. There's the biggest shift for men than women generally. That's what I'm feeling. But anyway, that's another whole topic. So, putting in boundaries, it's also linking in with your lifestyle, because did you know 80% of chronic disease is caused by lifestyle-related issues? That's 80%. That's huge. So like putting in some boundaries on yourself, not always eating the shit food, putting in some boundaries and making time for some exercise. 80% is diet, 20% is exercise, and getting that mindset right of like, yeah, that's okay. You've worked hard for the weekend, let your hair down, but you don't need to let your hair down every night and living off.
I'm going to have trouble with that. I don't have
And, having a fast lunch of crap food every day is not going to be helping you. You put some boundaries in of like either make your lunch or make healthier choices or whatever. Yeah. But, it's on every level. So, yes, I love this topic, Harry. I think it's really, really important for everybody.
So I can't remember what we're doing next week, but it was in your text.
Yeah. It'll be another lucky dip.
Well, good. Well, lovely talking to you, Sal, as always. Look forward to
reading your
week.
blog, Harry.
Yes. I didn't do last week. I got overloaded, but I'm going to write this one up. Yeah,
but that's okay. Put some boundaries in. You can only do what you can do. Yeah, well, I look forward to chatting with you next week. And I'm sure it'll be a fun topic.
Okay. See you then, Sal.
See ya. Bye.